Kyle, so this is how you correct the projector rotation. This is your setup. It's the same on both sides except for the driver's side has this H4 connector. The first thing you do is you take a very small flathead screwdriver. I'm using one out of this set that has security bits, but anything small enough to fit in there, you aim towards the bottom of this connector and you just push straight back. There's a little fish hook and you push back it up a little bit. And on the back side, this swings open. Once you push that, and you put that in, you can just push it straight out. See if I can get it here. So you do that to all three of them. Just in the middle, and then kind of push it in a little bit to bend it upwards. And it'll all push right out. Get that one again. There we go. So it'll all just slide right out like that. So then you have your connector off. The next thing you want to do is take something like this, or you can use your fingers if you want, I guess, and just pull off these two brackets that hold the back cover on. Then this will come off. You don't want to pull this too hard, pull it too far. You just get it off about a ½ inch or so, and the next thing you want to do is you want to take this grommet and push it through like that, push it into the cover, and then you can feed these through. The key is not to tug on this guy right here, this little D-shaped connector. It's a fragile connector. You don't want to break it. So you can fish these things through, and that gets you to the inside. You can kind of move these aside. The bulb is just held on, the HID bulb, by this little connector right here. All you have to do is push down and out.
I can't see what you're doing.
There's a little connector right here. All you have to do is push down and out, and sometimes you might need to set it a little flatter. Which way does it go out? I'm pushing the wrong way, that's why. There we go. So the connector comes up, it's just attached through two holes over in here and here. It'll come straight out, and once that's out, you can remove your HID bulb carefully. Once the HID bulb is out, you have two or three just standard Phillips heads. Your Phillips head bits out. This is the bulb holder / retainer. You want to be very careful with these when you do it because they're not magnetic. So if you happen to drop it, you might not find it again. If you do drop it, just take the light and tip it upward like this, and you can lightly shake it out to try to wiggle it out. So once those are out, this retaining clip will come right off, and then all that's left right here is this is the projector right here, this inner circle, and then there's a retaining nut around it. And all you have to do is take a pair of pliers and loosen that retaining nut a little bit. You don't want to go too much because you don't want the projector to fall back in. And then you can take something like a flathead, or maybe you can wrap some tape around a flathead, and you can rotate the projector back around, and then you can retighten that nut. And then you just do the same, the reverse to get everything back together. Take your clip, put it back on. And when you put the clip back on, I just put the headlight upside down like this, so that you don't drop it. Get your screws in there. One. 2. Sometimes I do 2, sometimes I do 3. It depends. They're easy to lose, so if I lose one, 2 works. After that, you just put your bulb back in, your HID bulb. Just slide straight down. Don't force it, wiggle it, it'll make its way in. Then you take your clip, fish it through the 2 holes at the top. Take a look, and then push down, slide it over into the retainer. You've got that all set up. Then you can take your cover. I usually fish this big one through first. I go the biggest to smallest, so these 3 go first, and then the small little clips there. There you go, got them all. Then make sure, like I said, make sure you don't pull. You don't want to pull too much. Keep this lid close to the base of the headlight so that you don't tug on those wires. You don't want to pull anything out or rip anything that you shouldn't. It takes a little bit of work, but there we go. So now you got that back in. You can put your cover back on. And the very last thing you need to do is for the H4 connector. you have to take that very small flathead again, that tiny bit that we had, and you have to take each one of these, and from the top you have to push it right down the middle to make that little fish hook pin stick back out, because before we flattened it and now we want it to catch back on again, so we want to extend it back out. Put those down on all 3 of them. Okay. When we put this back in, the sequence is, if we're looking like this, high beam or low beam, yellow, high beam, white, brown. So you just put them in the back. You can use a flathead or something to push them in. They'll click. You can hear it click a little bit. Put them back in. And the very last one. Look that one away. There you go. You can close the cover on the back if yours has one. Not all of them do. But that's it. And that way you can rotate your projectors. It's easier on the passenger side because you don't have this H4 connector to work with. But everything else is the same. That way you can rotate them and get them back in line. All right, thanks.